Guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? I hope you are doing great. If you are new, my name is Lizzie. So this guy was asking all ladies question: what is our plan B if nobody marry us? Like, what is the plan B? We should jump in the ocean, we should kill ourselves, we should do like what? You have to relax. But anyway, I'm going to leave you guys to dive into it. Let's listen to the reaction together.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B? Not to be funny, but what is your next step if you never get married? You see, a lot of people, their life revolves around marriage. Who's going to marry me? Finding the right one, right? Being married, having kids, and all these beautiful things. But what if it never happens? What is your plan B for your happiness? Because if marriage is your happiness, and that's the ultimate goal, right? Having kids is the ultimate goal. Having a house and a big family with that picket fence and that dog is your ultimate goal. What is your plan B if that never happens? If that never happens, if you never get married. Now I want you to ask yourself that question. What is my plan B if nobody marries me? If I never get married, right? Does that determine my happiness, my value, my substance, who I am? Like, think about that. What is your plan B if you never get married? If you never find happiness in someone else? If someone never compliments your vibe, your energy, who you are, or where you want to go, right? What is your plan B if all of that fails?
Marriage is not necessary, and it's not a key component to life. I can only speak for myself and myself only, but if I don't get married, I just don't get married. And it's more than likely going to be a choice that I made. I do understand that there are a lot of people that make a conscious decision to not get married at all. And they have their reasonings for not wanting to get married. So it doesn't matter how life is going to go in their unmarried life. They know that marriage is not what they want. I like to get married, yeah. But if I don't, I won't really be mad about it. If anybody says, who are you going to spend the rest of your life with? I mean, that's easy. Friends, family, people like that. And another thing, not being married does not mean that you won't partake in relationships. You can still have relationships if you want to. They just won't turn into a marriage. All in all, marriage is not the pinnacle of life.
People that really know me wholeheartedly knows that I love the idea of having a family and getting married. Let's keep it a buck. Marriage and children should add to your happiness that you already have. I tell myself, if I don't have a child, if I don't get married, hey, it just wasn't in the cards for me. And if I do end up having children, and if I do end up getting married, then cool, that means that it was meant for me. And that adds to my happiness. Let me ask you a question. What does your life look like? Are you happy? Do you have discipline? Are you financially stable? Do you have a foundation to stand on individually? Another question. You better learn who you with before you love that person. A lot of times we fall in love with people that we don't even know. So don't let your parents, society, romantic novels and movies, fear of getting older make you think that you need to have children and get married to ultimately be happy. Work on yourself. Learn the person that you are going to potentially fall in love with. And if you have children, you won't have to build love around a baby. You'll build the baby around love. Take care.
There's no plan B. It's plan A. There's nothing wrong with being unmarried, happy, and independent.
We are so happy you asked. So I'm stitching my mutual who I love, so don't go to her page and harass her. This is not her video. But this is Ollie, and he's very handsome. So anyway, it turns out that my plan B, this whole idea of worst case scenario, meaning worst case scenario being not marrying a man, not having children with him, it turned out for me so far that was actually plan A. That was the best case scenario for me in my life. Now, what I've noticed is men such as yourself cannot comprehend a world where they are, in fact, the worst case scenario for a woman. It's because our country and the world just convinces you that everything revolves around you. So you have no real idea about the kind of havoc you wreak on some women's lives. Regardless, I was never very happy in relationships. I've always been my most happy when I've been alone, and that's okay. So plan B turned into plan A, and it turns out plan A is single and child-free, and that's going very well. So
there has to be a plan B. Ain't no plan B. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi ana. If, first of all, we all know that he planned everything out for us. So if he planned that I would not get married, then that is the plan. Ain't no plan B. So we're just going to live our lives. Pray, increase in dua, spread the deen, and go back home to Jannah. So there is no plan B.
Solo poly. Sorry, I didn't see any men answer, and I figured I should. But the answer is solo poly. If me and little one don't work out, solo poly. I don't want nobody in my house. I don't want nobody bothering me. I get to do my own thing. You get to do your thing. Stay over there. That's exactly what's gonna happen if this relationship don't work out. Because I had this conversation with myself when I turned 30, where I said, you know what, you may never get married, and that is in fact one of my goals, to like be a father and be a husband, and a good one, because I didn't get to see a great one. Like, that's one of my goals, right? But it could not happen. And I would be okay with that. Because my value is not determined by my romantic relationships. Y'all be safe out there, beloved.
Platonically marry each other, foster a bunch of kids, and start a family.
You see, honestly, I don't have a plan B, because obviously I'm gonna get married someday, you know? So I don't know about me, but I'm gonna get married. You know, I'm definitely gonna.
So marriage is now plan A. Who made it plan A? When was it made plan A? And I'm not aware. So you mean that everything I'm supposed to be working towards in life is to get married? And if that does not happen, I can now put other things in place. But the main focus is marriage. How can somebody live like that? As for me, my plan A is to make money. As a matter of fact, I have another plan AI, which is self-discovery, my potential. It must not die. I have another plan A, plan AII, which is to establish businesses and make more money. Why should I be breathing in and breathing out, just waiting for one man to come and marry me, like one kind of liability and a jobless fellow, pathetic living? Don't say that again. It's not plan A.
I used to work at a nursing home, and this one resident, she had never been married. She would constantly pull the fire alarm. We had to put on like all these special protectors over the fire alarms because she would constantly pull them. Not because she had dementia, but because she liked to have the firemen come so she could look at the firemen. And sometimes if there was male staff members around, she'd throw her utensils on the ground. So they would bend over and pick them up for her, so she could look at their butts. And there's just something very satisfying about being a 90-year-old lady in a wheelchair, spending your time trying to figure out how to objectify men sexually. I think that would be my plan.
This is plan A right here. Young rich bitch shit. The marriage is the plan B.
Headed. Women have discovered by now that marriage is not the end-all be-all of a woman's existence. You know what plan A for a lot of women is? This cat is trying to jump on my shoulder. Go ahead. You know what plan A for a lot of women is? Happiness. When your plan A is happiness, you don't need a plan B. Here's my happiness right here.
Marriage is not plan A in the first place. It's part of plan A, but it's not entirely plan A. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Kahf, wealth and children are the adornment of this worldly life. But the everlasting good deed, far better with your Lord in reward and in hope. The main thing that is certain in this life is our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And surely marriage is part of the plan, but it is not the plan. Everything in this life is temporary. Some people, marriage is written for them again and again, and sometimes even again. Plan A is to always please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to work on ourselves and our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And through that, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, perhaps that part of the plan will...
My plan B is to live a lavish life and eat cake and drink coke and eat meat pie and live a nice house and work out once a year.
Which had absolutely nothing to do with getting married. Now, his overall message was poignant. Go follow him. I know him personally. But marriage has always been the plan B. Plan A is what you have planned for your life outside of your relationships becoming your identity. Now, my other thing is that too many people think with the mindset of if someone does or does not choose to marry you, versus two people finding each other and deciding that marriage is the next step that they want to take. Now, outside of that, all of his points were accurate and valid. Like, you need to have an identity outside of marriage. I always say to people that if you're not okay with being alone, then you should not find yourself in a relationship. Because your relationship should not become your identity.
You need to have an identity before that.
This one's my favorite though. The women will be fine.
Continue to grow this business, continue to work and improve myself, continue to get this ass fat. Oh God. Marriage ain't even in my plans, baby. Have you seen the dating pool? It's stinky on both sides. Am I open to being married? Yes, but am I planning my life around it? No, babes. I'm going to continue to live my life to the fullest, regardless of what man is or isn't in it.
You have to understand that marriage is plan B. Plan A is to do you, live your best life, be the best version of yourself, and be happy on your own. And then if you get married, then that's plan B.
I never actually thought about this. Like, what would I do? Oh my God. Being that I have superpowers and all. If a man never marries me, I guess I'll still thrive and live an amazing life.
You see, no, I completely disagree with this, right? Now, bear with me for a second while I explain. Now, this guy is basically asking you what your plan B is. Now, if you want to succeed in life, never have a plan B. Because basically what you're doing, right, when you have a plan B, you're giving your brain the ability to fail, right? Because you're already thinking about, if I fail, I'll fall back on this, and I've got to fall back. And if you've got a fallback, which is a plan B, you've got room to fail. And actually, right, you do research yourself, right, you'll find, right, that people with a plan B, the majority of people who have a plan B actually fail plan A. So don't have a plan B and just have a plan A and focus on actually doing your plan. What's wrong with that?
Okay, great question. I am so glad you asked. So I've thought about this. I would go to the baby bank online and I would find like a donor, I guess, and I'd ship the specimen to my house. I'd go to Rite Aid, get a syringe, and just make myself a baby, right? And then when that baby's like this cute toddler, we're gonna like travel the world and we're gonna go to Disneyland all the time. And I'm gonna start up all these like mama owned businesses and just like be a boss babe or something. And then I'm going to build this house, but of course I'm gonna need help. So I'm gonna like have this like addition for my mom that's like, so she could be with us and have this great happy family. And I guess I'll just hope for the best, but I mean, that's worst case.
Please leave single women alone. Take us out the group chat. We good. I'm talking about the ones that don't be complaining. We good, bruh.
What do you mean plan B? That's plan A. Do you have any idea how many things would have to go wrong and how wrong they'd have to go before I considered marriage? I've got chocolate cake.
Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notification. Anytime I upload, you will be notified. Stay blessed and bye-bye.